Imagine a world where everyone treats each other with dignity and respect.
Ew, ew. Why would anyone even say that? That is disgusting. Dignity? Why would anyone want to be treated with that shit? No, mate. What you want to be treated with is whiskey. It's the cure for everything. And that respect stuff, well, that's just for me, because of how much better I am than everyone else, obviously.
And when problems do arise, everyone works hard to do right by each other.
Okay, but what would that even look like? I mean, right by each person is, well, different for each person. Even with this little scene, we don't know what's happened here. You could assume that they fell off the road with their wagon, although what was pulling it, I have no idea. But what if they just came out here for a little lie down in the road and their car is exactly where they wanted it to be? Well, then if you start lifting them up and moving their shit, that's just going to annoy them, regardless of what you thought happened. Maybe don't assume what's best for other people, eh?
In the Bible, this way of treating each other is called doing righteousness.
Is it? Oh, so all those times when God just fucked a bunch of people up against their will that in no way helped them, unless you think being drowned is somehow useful, or being ripped apart by bears is the best way to start a morning, then God is pretty dang unrighteous. Interesting.
And it sounds great, but how are we supposed to know how to always do right by others?
Exactly. Does that person look happy with what's going on here? I don't think so. Also, what the f*** is the point of a car when there's literal superhumans kicking about in this cartoon world of yours? That guy should be a transportation business. Damn.
Well, Jesus, like any Israelite teacher, believed that you can learn righteousness through studying God's wisdom that's found in the ancient scriptures, the Torah and the prophets.
Jesus, the guy from the books, thinks you should study the books that are the thing that he wants you to believe. What a fucking shock. This is almost as bad as the Bible is true because it says that the Bible is true because it says that the Bible is etc, etc. Yeah, no shit he likes the things that are his. I like the smell of my own farts. Doesn't make them any less deadly.
So studying things like the laws that God gave ancient Israel.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like, thou shalt not shit on the stove. That's an important one. I mean, it's unhygienic, and that's not even what a stove is for. It's for fixing graphics cards and consoles. Then there's the respect thy bitches, although some think that one is sexist. It's actually the ancient definition of bitch, which is, of course, any great ape with a machine gun. They prefer the term sir. And, of course, no one can forget don't touch the. Although for some reason, none of you seem to know what a the is. All the more reason you shouldn't touch it, really.
Jesus believed that God's wisdom can be found within those laws if we meditate on them.
In all seriousness, the good ones, the ones that aren't suck God's dong and make sure that even though it doesn't go past your teeth, tell him that it's just so big. Yes, bigger than any you have sucked before, especially bigger than that guy at high school that he was really jealous of. I mean, why was he popular? Just because he's athletic and smart and genuinely nice? What a prick. And most of all, make sure that God knows that it doesn't smell super weird. And I don't mean like gross, but just kind of wrong. I didn't even know what aubergine wine smelt like until, but there it is.
Ancient laws can teach us how to do right by each other today?
Yes.
Shit, just realised I lost my train of thought with the last bit. Yeah, even the ones that aren't, that. So, don't kill, don't steal, don't whatever. That shit is way older than any religion. And it's not even complicated to figure out why they're quote unquote good. It's all about societies, big or small. The ones that discourage hurting others are pretty much universally the ones that are the most successful. Because if you need a big group of people to live together, they are going to have to be able to know that they aren't just going to wake up one day to all of their stuff stolen, their dog missing its legs, and them, well, not knowing any of this because their head's on the other side of the room. Funnily enough, that tends to make living a little bit harder.
And let's watch how Jesus does it here in the Sermon on the Mount.
I'll mount your sermon. No, I don't care that that doesn't make sense. Do you think the need to make sense has ever stopped me before? Fuck no. If I did things that made sense, I would never have started the greatest YouTube channel on earth. And also this one. I mean, no one's seen the other one, but goddamn, it's so good. It's not for you.
So Jesus will first quote a command from the Torah, and then second, he'll reveal God's wisdom underneath the command.
Makes it sound like, here's some shit, okay, cool, and here's what I want you to take away from it, even if it's not actually what the thing says or that it makes any sense whatsoever. But when has that stopped religious types? I mean, why follow what the words say when you can make them say whatever the fuck you want them to say? And idiots will eat that shit right up.
Okay, let's jump in.
All right, he starts with a pretty intense topic, murder.
Murder's not intense. Murder is easy peasy. All you have to do is remove all the oxygen in the room, and then those pathetic humans just drop dead. Don't even know what they need it for. Barely even in whiskey. And, oh, wait, this'll be one of those murder is bad things, won't it? Lame.
Jesus begins, "You have heard that it was said to the ancients, 'You shall not commit murder.'"
He's quoting from the Ten Commandments here.
Quoting? I don't think that's a quote. Pretty sure if you ask anyone the quote, it is "thou shalt not kill," or at least "thou shalt not murder." I would say that you're paraphrasing, but usually you use less words for that. Look, I know it's petty, but it's the petty things that keep me going. Like how it would be petty to point out how your favourite hat makes you look like a dumbass. No, not you. You always look like a dumbass.
"And I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother will be guilty in the court."
Ah, of course it's the "did you do an angry?" Well, that's literally the exact same thing as murder. One of the stupidest things that anyone has ever said. I mean, seriously, to attempt to even compare the two, as if they are even on the same continent of things, is completely ridiculous. And it's funny to me that a lot of the people who will bang on and on and on about, oh, the thought crime, will be the same people who think this actual crime of thinking a thing that's not even the same kind of thing, without realizing the sheer bloody irony of it.
"And whoever says to his brother, 'You good for nothing,' will be guilty in the high court."
Really? I mean, if that's the actual words that he used, that is the softest shit in the universe. But fuck me, even if that was like the worst thing you could possibly say, aside from the fact that it is never true, there isn't a human alive that would not make for excellent whiskey compost. It's also not something that anyone uses and actually means. They just mean you're an asshole and you're probably lazy. And to be frank, if someone's being a lazy asshole, I think there are far more cutting things you could say than good for nothing. I would go with, you discount sir sick.
Oh, fuck you, sick.
Wait, so Jesus is equating anger and name-calling with murder?
He got your attention, didn't he?
Yeah, certainly did. I'm thinking, wow, what a moron. What kind of absolute giga idiot would conflate these two things? Some electrical signals whizzing around inside your head that you possibly do nothing about, and taking the action of ending a life. They aren't even in the same ballpark. They ain't even the same conceptual entity, aka one is baseball and the other is the sound the letter A makes when you sneeze while saying it.
Yeah, but obviously murdering someone is worse than just getting mad and calling someone a name.
Sure, but that's not his point.
Okay, but if that's not his point, I don't know, maybe he should make that point instead. Funnily enough, if you are going to say something that is clearly stupid, you can't just go, no, I actually meant this completely different thing that doesn't even sound like the thing I said. Because I actually said that as a social experiment and a joke, and this is a prank show, and anything other than, you know what, I don't know why I said that. I thought it would sound clever in my head, and then it came out and I realized it wasn't as smart as I thought it was. My bad. So, you know, basically everything on my channel, except I won't apologize. I want you to all suffer my stupid with me.
Jesus is provocatively showing how murder, anger, and verbal abuse, they're all surface manifestations of something that is way deeper.
Okay, but again, anger and verbal abuse are not the same thing. In fact, verbal abuse is way closer to murder than anger will ever be, because it's an action. You have to do verbal abuse to someone. You have to murder a person with your bare hands, or your bare feet, or your bare car. But if you get angry at someone, they could literally never fucking know. In fact, you could be angry enough with an individual to literally hate their putrid, foul little guts and hope that they explode out of their asshole face, but be like, "Hey Steve," and they would think that you're a lovely person. Or maybe they would think that you're an asshole too. But if Steve's like, "Sup," and you both get on with your day, because actions and thoughts are not the same fucking thing and never will be.
Which is...
How much you value or don't value someone's existence.
Not really. You see, I could be angry at someone and still think that they're a person with value with the right to exist. And I didn't even know all those people I murdered because I didn't want to kill someone I knew. I'm sorry, allegedly, according to some very biased police officer whose guts I hate, but I think he deserves to live. But only because it would be too obvious if they just disappeared.
I see. Like murder is the ultimate way of saying that someone's life doesn't matter.
If that's his point, then he's a fucking idiot. Oh shit, I think I just accidentally murdered Jesus. Oh well, it's not a big deal apparently. Murder, it's just like calling someone a dumbass. Not a big deal. See, this shit works both ways. If two very different things get brought to the same level and people literally see it that way, how are those granted morons supposed to be able to tell the difference? What's to stop them doing something horrendous? Well, you see, that child ran over my foot with a Tonka truck. It didn't hurt, but I thought, what a dick. And considering that murder is exactly the same thing as doing that, I thought fuck it and threw him in a blender. What's the difference?
And so is losing your temper or belittling someone.
Losing your temper. Losing an action that people tend to do by accident. Murdering people. Intentional acts. Or at least an act that tends to happen via intentional actions. And what about the arsehole that made you lose your temper? Where's the bit in the Bible about thou shalt not be an annoying prick? I'm pretty sure even some sports have penalties for trying to get your opponent to hit you on purpose. I think they call it instigating. Nothing about that in the 10 Commandments. Then again, why would Jesus want to be punished for saying stupid shit that pisses people off? Because he's a hypocrite. That's who.
These all reveal an attitude of superiority and contempt for the life of another person.
No, they fucking don't. Seriously, the amount of times I get, "You am atheist, you am just think you smarter than religious boys." No, I don't. Seriously, I don't think I'm smarter than anyone, because I'm not. I'm a fucking idiot. But that doesn't mean that I'm wrong. And if someone's gonna spout stupid shit, it is my obligation to point it out and say, "Hey, that was fucking stupid, dumbass." Because there needs to be less of us in the world. I am fighting stupid with stupid. It's an honorable profession.
It wreaks havoc in our relationships and communities, and it's worthy of serious consequences.
Some of those things, fine. But again, anger. Anger is an emotion, something that is often completely out of people's control. And this isn't about someone losing their shit and having a great big tantrum. The mere momentary act of feeling anger is bad and comparable to any way to murder. But no. And while being angry all the time is terrible for you, there are times when it is incredibly useful as an emotion. Getting angry when you are being treated poorly, when it makes you take action to get out of that situation, or anger that causes you to step in and stop someone else from getting hurt, like shouting at kids to get out the fucking road because there's a car coming. No, of course, that's fucking murder. You did that because you actually wanted the children to die. What absolute asinine sophistry of the highest order. No wonder it's apparently in the Bible.
So the wisdom of this command is about way more than just murder.
In fact, it's got so much wisdom that it goes right around the wisdom planet and ends up at the city of fucking stupid ideas for morons. You know, where it started, obviously.
For Jesus, this command is about treating everyone as valuable.
Again, you can get angry at someone because you care and think they have value. When someone you love does something so stupid and harmful to you or themselves, and you just can't control the surge of rage, you wouldn't feel that if it wasn't for the fact that it was someone you cared about. Yes, it is important to control that, and the actions that you take based on that should, in fact, be tempered into, something positive. But the fact that you felt it is not a bad thing, and pretending that it is just delusional nonsense, if not a little bit scary. I mean, think of that person who never reacts to anything and then one day blows up a bus full of nuns. Everyone always says in those circumstances what a quiet guy they were. Well, maybe if he'd have called the nuns a bunch of weird hat wearing assholes, then it wouldn't have happened at all. But again, it's exactly the same thing because of reasons.
Right. Jesus wants us to see that any time we demean or devalue other people, it's a failure to do right by them.
Yeah, like when you run into a place and start flipping tables and shit. Jesus would never do that, right? Right? Oh, yeah, hypocrite, obviously. Do as I say, not do as I do. The mantra of all of the greatest leaders of the world.
His definition of righteousness means treating everybody as a fellow image of God.
Ah, well, why didn't you say sooner? Because I treat God like the stupid, worthless arsehole he is. And frankly, he's even better than the humans who are allegedly in his image. Because at least God has the good grace to have never existed in the first place. Humans won't even go away when I tell them, right to their faces. See, you're still watching. What's the point of even trying?
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos. And she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the